We're going to move on to Vietnam. And Vietnam, the Nam Viet people originated in southern China. And as China continued to expand southwards, they continued to push south as well. And in their early history, they kind of borrowed what was useful from China, but they also didn't want to become assimilated by China either. And so they kind of took what was useful, but they also kept their own identity and culture. And as they continue to push southwards, they're going to conquer peoples further south and actually intermarry with the Khmer people and the Thai peoples there. And under the Han Dynasty, they're going to become the first Chinese dynasty to actually conquer part of northern Vietnam. And once they conquer northern Vietnam, they also bring with them a ton of new Chinese culture. And so the Viet elites, especially, are going to adopt Chinese agriculture and Chinese irrigation techniques. We're going to see Chinese style schools introduced as well. We're going to see Confucianism spread. We're also going to see at least a version of a Confucian examination system introduced as well. And the ultimate goal of the Han Dynasty was to try to assimilate the Viet peoples into the Han Dynasty and make them more Chinese. But ultimately, they failed to fully assimilate the Vietnamese people. And one of the biggest reasons was resistance by the lower classes. And so we're going to see this kind of constant resistance to Chinese domination. And it's going to start with the Trung sisters. The Trung sisters were a group who helped lead a peasant revolt against Chinese domination. And basically, for the next 1,000 years, we're going to see these uprisings where these peasants rebelled against Chinese influences in Vietnam. And eventually, it's going to lead to their independence. In 983 CE, after the fall of the Tang Dynasty, Vietnam is going to gain their independence. And they're going to be ruled by dynasties similar to China. And they continued to conquer as well. They're going to continue to push south. And because they were using a Chinese-style military, it gave them a big advantage over the rest of Southeast Asia. And so even though they adopted aspects of Chinese culture, they also kept their own identity as well. And we're going to see that in things like the importance of the village. Village politics are going to dominate the countryside. We're also not going to see a strong scholar gentry class emerge in Vietnam the same way we did in China. Women also played a much bigger role in Vietnam. Women could be heads of households. Women could own land. Women participated in business. And there's even examples of village leaders being women as well. And even with the spread of Confucian ideals, they resisted those patriarchal aspects of Confucianism. That being said, we also did see Chinese influences in Vietnam. Now, most of this was limited to your urban areas and especially to your upper elites, but we're going to see a Chinese-style bureaucracy form, including the adoption of Confucianism and a version of the examination system. We're going to see the idea of emperorship emerge as well. They also are going to copy Chinese script and writing and literary styles as well. They're going to adopt Mahayana Buddhism. Now, Theravada or traditional Buddhism was already very prevalent in Southeast Asia, but they're going to bring the Chinese form of Mahayana Buddhism in as well. And as I said earlier, they also adopt Chinese agriculture and irrigation techniques.